Chai T is running this thing solo, red alert. Tonight, Legend of Korra gets discussed. Chai gets philosophical, and Chai also gets sick of hearing his own voice eventually. Company of Heroes is one big bundle out at Humble Bundle. All this and more in episode 14 of
The Pile of Shame.
Geeks of all kind, we know that struggle, that overwhelming pile of content to still finish. Conquer that pile and don't quit. Today is October 13th, 2016. My name's Rob, and I'm your host for the support group. I go by Chai T out there in the gamer world, and with me tonight is nobody to help encourage you to keep up the fight against that growing pile. So I'm going to rely on my chat room, and let's go check on the chat room right now. What do we got? We got Presbar, Mutiny Teddy keeping me company today. And we're going to need you. Pete is currently out of the country, traveling for work. And we have Adam, who his daughter basically would not let him podcast tonight. And then we had Totem, who's sick with the flu and just completely wiped him out. And I'm sick with a massive chest cold that makes me cough like crazy every so often. So this is a good week. Let's see. Last episode was number 13. We had all sorts of technical issues. Today is October 13th. So I'm beginning to think 13 actually has some sort of meaning, but I'm not superstitious. It's kind of tossed back and forth. So let's figure out what is actually keeping us from playing games. Well, at least me, in delay of game. Okay, so for me, World of Warcraft Legion is keeping me very occupied. They've done an excellent job this time around in when you log in, you have something to do. And so there's always progression, so it always feels good to go in and do some stuff. Now, it's starting to slow down a little bit. I've started to max out on certain things, and I'm not getting as much benefit from my game time. So I'm starting to actually go back and pick up some other games and play it, which we'll talk about tonight. But whew, there's the cough. Overwatch came out with a Halloween special, so they're trying to out TF2 when it comes to Halloween, and I think they did an excellent job. At least the first couple times playing the Brawl. They have a themed thing where you pick one of 4 characters, and you do a PvE thing against robots. And so that's super fun to do, and it's really hard. You put it up to the hard difficulty, and they just stomp you. So you need a really coordinated team. So far, we've gotten like 1 or 2 stars on hard, but we have beat on medium a few times. A lot of really cool skins. Go check it out if you're an Overwatch player. I started to go back into Shadowrun, so I run a Shadowrun tabletop game, and a new system came out called Anarchy. Shadowrun is a very... the term that they use is crunchy. It's a very crunchy system, meaning there's a lot of rules. Everything that you can do is governed by rolls of the dice and rules for how things happen. And so when you pick up the game for the first time, it's a lot. Like, we've been playing this campaign for probably 5 or 6 games now, and still we have to constantly rule check. People don't know what to roll. It's very confusing. So we've gone ahead and switched over this Anarchy system, which is based off of the Q system. Q as in CUE. And it is a much more rules light, much more narrative. And you have 1-page character sheet. You know how nice it is to have a 1-page character sheet instead of like 4 pages you're looking through? It's glorious. So the benefit of Anarchy is that it takes a lot of the control out of the game master's hands and puts into the players. So the players can actually pick up and run the narrative. And that took a little bit for my group to understand and catch on that they could, when I give the stick to them, they can do things besides their character. So they say what their character is going to do, but they can also say what else is happening in the plot. They can control the NPCs. They control what's going on. And once they figured that out, we started to have a lot of fun. So we went through one scenario, and it was just super fun. It was good times. There was our Technomancer got drawn on while he was by our other two people. They got bored while he was doing his stuff in the Matrix for a couple hours. It was fun. So that kind of kept me busy, getting all the characters converted, running the campaign, everything like that. But so that kept me away from video games. And school. I started classes in the last couple of weeks, and I've got 2 classes going instead of 1 now. So it's a lot to do that. But I still managed to beat a game. And so we're going to talk about that in Conquering the Pile. I beat a game! Legend of Korra. So for those of you who have watched the series, I love Legend of Korra. So this is a game for you if you're a fan. So this is set in between season 2 and season 3 of the show. So it's not like after the show was over. So the game follows Korra as the main protagonist, and she encounters a chi blocker villain that, in true video game fashion, saps a powerful being like Korra's powers, and you start off with nothing. Right? So that's a very common thing. If you have a character who is supposed to be all powerful, there's something that always blocks them, or removes their powers for some reason, so you can build up. So you have something to build up over time. And so you start with no elements under your control. You're just basically punching stuff, and then you build up to having all control of all 4 elements again. The game is mainly fan service to followers of the show. And that's a good thing if you are a follower of the show, right? That's what you want. You want a little bit of fan service. So it mixes in 3 very distinct gameplay modes. The main story is played out as a 3D platformer. Instead of coins, you're finding spirit energy. You can break almost everything in the world for some spirit energy, just like in Legend of Zelda or something like that. There are chests hidden throughout the world. Some of them you have to break with specific elements, and the more damage you can do to them in a given time, the higher rank of an item you'll get out of it, which results in more spirit energy at the end of the level. And between levels, and also if you die, you can visit a spirit shop ran by Jiro and buy healing potions, an item that revives you when you get knocked out, similar consumables, or you can buy permanent artifacts that alter aspects of the game, such as halve your health, but let you obtain more spirit power faster, etc. So combat is done by X being your light attack, Y being a heavy attack. You can charge each of them up for additional effects as well. Each element has a different list of combo attacks you can pull off. As you progress in the game, you can have access to multiple elements, and you can switch between them with LB and RB on the fly. So you can knock someone up in the air with earthbending, switch to fire, jump up, and burn them senseless. So that's kind of fun. And as you chain your combos, you can build up chi, and eventually when it fills, your attacks get energy filled, you do a lot more damage. Also, as you use each element, it ranks up, gaining additional effects, like more damage, easier charge-ups, etc., things like that. The key to combat, and pretty much the only way to beat bosses, which is one thing I had negative about it, is the use of counterattacks. Enemies are going to flash red as they're about to attack. If you press left trigger when they attack, you'll get a quick time event to press a certain button or stick movement to counterattack them. And these attacks are way more powerful than your regular ones. So Mutiny Teddy asks in the chat room, he asks, is the combat challenging? I actually thought it was, especially in the later levels. As you got more, they just threw tons and tons of enemies at you. And so you had to, and they were different types. So you had one that would stun you, one that would hit you from range, guys that would just mob up on you. So you had to kind of pick and choose which element to do. Like water, you could attack from range. Earth, you could only attack up close, and it was a lot more powerful. So you had to kind of switch it up and hit the enemy at the right time. Some of the bosses were incredibly challenging. There was one in the middle that actually got me stuck for a while, that you could only really defeat it by using counterattacks. Like, you could beat on it all day, but you had to use counterattacks, otherwise it would just wipe you. And if you missed 1 or 2 counterattacks, you just had routing timing, you were done. And so it was pretty challenging, sometimes too much so. That was incredibly frustrating. But the combat gets pretty hectic, but it's fun, especially once you unlock all of the elements and you can switch between them. The second game inside the game is a pro bending mode, with the rules from the series itself, where you try to push back the opposing team off the platform. So it thankfully only shows up a couple times in the main mode, because it's not all that fun. But after you beat the game, if you like it, you can do just that from the menus. So that's kind of nice. in between almost every scene is an endless runner mixed in where you ride on Naga, your big polar bear dog thing, and have to dodge, slide, turn, and jump to avoid scenery and collect spirit power. Like all endless runners, if you goof up once, it's all over starting in at the last checkpoint. So that kind of got a little annoying from time to time because you would turn a corner and there would be very quickly something where you'd have to hit something, otherwise, boom, you're done. So, endless runners are fun on a phone, not so much on the desktop. I'm not a big fan. So in all modes, you get scored based on speed, damage, and spirit power collected. You get a silver, bronze, or gold medal at the end of the round, and then at the end of the game, they compile it together and give you a total score. So I got a silver in everything except for a gold in the last scene. So a silver overall. After completing the game, you get a new Game Plus mode, which not enough games do nowadays. So, but you can go back, continue with the same skills and items, trying to earn the gold medals for the series. So, as a fan of the TV series, I enjoyed the game, but it's not one I'm going to keep playing, so I'm not going to go back and do the new Game Plus. The combat's fun, but can be pretty frustrating at times, and with most games of this style, the camera is terrible. So it always would get in the way, you wouldn't see stuff going on, it's zoomed too far in. But seeing Korra in action again makes me give that a pass. So if you're a fan of the series, definitely give this a play. But if you're not a fan of the series, or haven't seen it, go watch it first and then come back and play this. Because if you haven't played it, it's not a fantastic game. So rating 3 out of 5 Spirit Energies. So good job, Legend of Korra. It's coming back for a comic. They're bringing a comic book to expand past. I'm so happy. So it's Korra and Asami together. You get to live that out a little bit. Okay, I'll stop geeking out. No, I won't. Geek life. All right, any questions in the chat room before I move on about Legend of Korra? No? No? Going once? Going twice? Okay. All right, well, let's figure out what's being added to the pile in Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Yeah. Oh, okay. Actually, I didn't add anything to the pile. Again, I guess I'm saving my money. There's nothing really big coming out. I don't know. Nothing really has popped up that's made me go, ooh, must have. Especially the Humble Bundle this week, which we'll talk about a little bit. Nothing too big. Still looking at Deus Ex. I want to get that, but haven't picked that up yet. But next month, Black Friday and the winter sales and all that, so that's going to be fun. I will add all the things. Okay, well, let's figure out what is on sale for those of you who want to add to the pile.
Shut up and take my money!
All right, so the Humble Bundle this week is Company of Heroes. You can get pretty much all the Company of Heroes. There's Company of Heroes, Opposing Fronts, Tales of Valor, Company of Heroes 2, basically everything in the Company of Heroes series you can get for $20 or $10 or more, and $30 or more you also get a t-shirt. So, And then, let's see, Mutiny Teddy is asking, oh no, Presbar keeps asking if I looked at Live Lock on Steam. No, Live Lock, what is that? Now I'm curious. I don't have Steam launched though, so can't pull it up. What is Live Lock? Press Barkeep while I go on about this. And Mutiny Teddy says that Brutal Legend is like 60% off on Humble Bundle. Do you mean the Humble Bundle store? Because I don't see it in the actual bundle itself. I'm guessing that was the store sale, which went on for a little bit. I did try to get my friends to pick up Tabletop Simulator, and we played that quite a bit. Okay, Live Lock is a top-down shooter. I've played quite a few, though. Is it multiplayer? That's the big thing. If it's multiplayer, then I kind of have fun with those. But we tend to pick those up, play them for a few times, and then stop. So I'm kind of hesitant about that unless it's super fun and or super cheap, which is the whole reason you do the Pile of Shame. Futuristic robots and stuff. Story and campaign mode, infinite play. All right, you're talking my language. I might look that up. Thanks, Presbarkey. Appreciate that. And let's get the chat room up on there. Oh, 3 players max. Okay. I will definitely give that a look-see. See how that goes. So, since this is going to be a shorter show and it's just me, I figure I might as well talk a little bit about the Pile of Shame and why we do this. So, yes, we like playing video games. That's the first thing. We like to play it. Sometimes we'll stream it. Sometimes we have a good time. But we just like to play. But you get caught up in things like World of Warcraft and Overwatch. They don't really have an end, right? So we started the game so we would be compelled to actually play and beat some of these great games. And I've had a fun time beating a number of these games I have been on my library for years and never got around to. So Life is Strange is a big one that always comes to mind when I talk about this. I probably never would have played it had I not started the podcast. And, Legend of Korra is one I picked up. I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely want to play that. I'm a big fan of the series, but never got around to it until I'm like, all right, let's find something to play. So it's difficult when you're an adult geek. When you're in college and high school, God, you have all the time in the world. You don't think you do. You're like, man, I'm so busy. But no, you get to come home every day, do a little bit of homework, and then you can just play. You don't have to worry about going to work for 8 hours a day and, then cooking dinner, doing dishes, and all that stuff. You just kind of go out and get stuff from the dorm cafeteria or something like that. And God, I played so many video games when I was in college. I miss that. Now it's just like you're doing all these things. And you have to actually make time. You have to schedule time in your day to actually play video games, which is sad. But it's worth it. It's worth it to do the Pile of Shame because you need to use paper plates, yeah. Yeah. We like the fine chinas. Not really Walmart plates that are like $3. But, yeah, I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we're continuing to do this because it's letting me pick up these gems. And I'm going to move into coming attractions where we talk about the things that we are going to be playing. So in coming attractions, I was looking through my list of games, and I have a ton of games. I reached out on Twitter. No one really gave any recommendations, but I saw one that I've been meaning to play. It kind of jumped out to me, Remember Me. And I really didn't remember much about it at all. I knew it looked cool when I picked it up, but it's like I booted it up having no idea what I was getting into. And so far, it's interesting. The combat's kind of tetchy, but it's a female protagonist lead, which I always like. It's kind of sci-fi. It's in the future and is a dystopic future, and you have to combat basically, zombies, but they're not zombies. And then you start messing with memories, so you have control of people's memories. So it's like it has a little bit of Life is Strange, but it's also has like combat, like Assassin's Creed or Batman. It's very similar in the combat. There's combos you pull off, so it's seems kind of right up my alley. I like female protagonist games, apparently. Life is Strange, Remember Me. And like Mirror's Edge as well. Yeah, Mutiny Teddy says it's like an action-based Mirror's Edge. Yeah, it's true. You have a lot more combat in that. I haven't picked up a gun yet. I don't know if you actually get guns. I'm playing with the Xbox controller, so I hope not. I don't want to, I don't like shooting with the Xbox controller very much. So, we'll see. So far I'm having fun. I've only got through the first chapter, so that's I'll have a full review when that happens. So if you guys have an idea of what I should be playing, some of you guys would like to see me stream or something like that, definitely let us know. You can email us at show@poshame.com. You can also reach out on Twitter at poshame or me directly at _chit. I'm always looking for game recommendations, and it's probably on my pile. If not, it's definitely on Pete's, because Pete probably owns like 90% of the Steam library at this point. So chest cold, die, please. God, hate you. Oh. So, okay, the XCOM series. Well, Diablo 3, there's no end to that, buddy. That's the antithesis of the pile of shame. Um, I've played Diablo 3 a lot, but there's no end. You just keep gearing up to kill more monsters to gear up. I probably will stream Diablo 3 if it ever gets interesting again. I haven't played this season at all. BlizzCon just announced their schedule and everything like that for this year, and a lot of people are speculating a Diablo 4, and I'll probably stream Diablo 4, at least on the _ChaiT, or on the, it's just twitch.tv/ChaiT. I'll probably stream there, not on PioShame, but yeah, we do play that. Again, though, it's not a thing with an end. That's a multiplayer thing. So it's like the PioShame is designed to be for stuff you can beat. But we might stream that from time to time as well. And yeah, Shell Shock is kind of nuts because I've got a couple of friends who are really big into it. And so they're really high level. We are not. So sometimes it gets kind of ridiculous. The level gap on that is pretty intense. So a lot more armor, a lot more health, and that really matters in that game. Yeah, Presburky, but I said it. It's a D4. Hopefully it's a D4. I don't know. Looking at the area on the map that they gave for Diablo, I'm thinking maybe not. It's they didn't give it a huge area. Oh, FTL. I did play that a little bit, but that's it's a roguelike, right? So I guess there is an end to that, so maybe. Yeah, FTL. FTL is one I'll add to my list to actually beat. That one was kind of rough when I played it. It was like it's like hitting, what's that game with the mallets and the gophers and stuff. Yes! Cuddles coming in with the hug hype. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, let me know if you still need the place to stay. Let's work something out, buddy. I don't know what your plans in for staying in the house there. Okay, I think we'll kind of close this out. Nice short podcast here. So let's figure this out. I'll go ahead and play the outro music. All right. If you would like to game with us, or with me, I guess, because the other guys, they're not here anywhere. But you can find links to all of our different gaming profiles and more in the show notes of each episode at pioshame.com. And I'm going to be at BlizzCon with Adam, who's not here, but I'll be with him next month, and with Cuddles. And if you're going to be there, come say hi and tell me about your pile of shame. I want to see how big your pile is compared to Pete's and mine. Adam is not here, but you can follow him at Geek of Random. Totem, also not here, but you can come push the payload with him in Season 2 competitive and Overwatch at Totemly Drunk, pound 1819. And to get in contact with the show, email us at show@pioshame.com. And you can follow us on Twitter. I am at _ChaiT, that's ChaiThi. Pete is at Fighting Viper. Totem is at Totally Drunk CTR, and you can follow the show at POShame. Conquer that pile and don't quit. We're going to be back in a couple weeks with more content to add to the pile. Until then, don't get smothered by your pile of shame. Good night, everybody.
I rolled a 20.